It's a big week, boys. We got a ton of stuff to get into. Last second class changes going live just before the patch hits this week. So we'll get into that. Obviously, giveaways, all kinds of shit, Twitch and things happening on there as well. A bunch of other things to get into. So without further ado, let's do this. Oh, what is this, a fucking ad? No, it's me sponsoring myself with the Iron Skyreaver. That's right, this mount was discontinued in 2023, and I'm bringing it back for a big giveaway, the Undermine giveaway. That's right, all you gotta do is tune into my stream for 1 hour. 1 hour. I'm live Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. Eastern Time. If you watch 1 hour of my shitty stream, you will get 1 point to enter to the giveaway for the Iron Skyreaver. This giveaway ends on March 7th, so make sure you're in here. Get your 1 point, put up with my shitty face and my shitty voice, and you can get yourself the discontinued Iron Skyreaver mount. Worth it if you ask me. Upgrade to Mists of Pandaria Classic. We already talked about these 2 big packages that you can buy, basically rebuying Mists at this point. But yeah, you can go ahead and get these level boosts and everything else. We actually looked at these, a decent value on some of these, especially this one with the level boost, the game time, and everything else. But if you're a Mists of Pandaria Classic Andy, there's so many different Andys out there now, you can go ahead and get these and get yourself real excited for that. Cataclysm Hour of Twilight is now live for the second time. That's right, there was an original time for this, and now it's the classic version of it. So if you're excited for that, get in there and play that up. Avast Plunderstorm ends February 25th. That's right. When patch 11.1 goes live, Plunderstorm will end. So the end of all the plunder and everything, I would say it was a pretty fun season. They were very generous with the plunder, so it felt like the season kind of ended pretty quickly. Everyone got what they wanted out of the event. I enjoyed it. You guys saw me win a couple matches. I'm very skilled at the game, so it was pretty easy for me. Twitch drops going live starting tomorrow. That's right, big dick Twitch drops, or should I say robotic dick Twitch drops? I don't know. You get the robotic puppy here starting February 25th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Watch 4 hours of some really good stream on Twitch or this really shitty stream on Twitch. Either way, whether the stream is good or bad, you're going to get yourself this pet after watching 4 hours. So you can get in here and get the stuff you need for this one. World of Warcraft short story The Tipping Point is now live. Long before Renzik and Shiv come to Stormwind, he was a bloody fist of the Crackslager cartel. So a nice little goblin story, bloody fisting going on in here. Not sure what that means, but you can go out and read that story and see some more lore before all the goblin shit goes live. We have more people chasing the deciphering the incognito fell cycle. This thing's already been solved if you go check out the forums and stuff like that, but people still chasing it down. Maybe we'll go and get this thing later on. And then get up to 30% off select class progressions, changes and stuff like that. All this stuff going for Classic World of Warcraft. So this is only for the Classic version of the game. You can switch servers, change your race, all kinds of stuff. Horde versus Alliance switchovers, stuff like that. So 30% off on those if you're interested in doing that. Some last chance items, specifically this last chance mount. With Season 2 starting on March 4th, and this dungeon dropping out of rotation, you basically have barely any time left to go ahead and get the Stone Vault Mecha Suit. That's right, because once Stone Vault is no longer available on Mythic, at least for this rotation, this season, you will no longer be able to get it. So getting the Stone Vault Mech Suit might be a last-second thing you want to do before the Season 1 comes to an end. Again, this is only available on Mythic and Mythic Plus difficulties, which will no longer be available in this dungeon form. So it might come back towards the end. We'll have to see. But besides that, you also have a new mount to farm in the next season, though. You got the Wicked, what is this, Wix Lead? Yeah, we can open this in a, in a new tab. The Wix Lead, yeah, this is going to be a new one you'll be able to get. So don't feel bad if you miss out on this season's mounts. There's always mounts to get in the next season, and this will be one of them. So jumping out and getting that or finishing out mounts from Season 1 will be a good idea for now. But the Who, or But Why Who, is a little magazine that did an interview with Morgan Day and Katrina Yeps, and they did release something pretty interesting out of this. There will be more Valor Stones dropping in this raid than previous raids. Blizzard's devs noted that Valor Stones are sometimes an issue, right? So in terms of how you get them early on in the season versus late in the season, early on in the season, Valor Stones are something that you keep track of, right? You never have enough of them early, whereas late, they're often capped. You're not using them enough, and they're just there all the time. So they want more Valor Stones to drop in raid. They want to give you more Valor Stones earlier on. We know that the new, what's it called? There's that new system, that new questing system. It's like a quest log that you can jump in and do a bunch of things to get Valor Stones and Undermined. That'll be a way to farm them out early on. But at least they know that this is kind of a thing. And getting rid of Valor Stones might be a thing later on, but right now they're focused on crests. That was what they said. So we'll see where Valor Stones go in the future. But for now, getting a little bit more early on will be a nice thing. 5 things you didn't know about the drive system. You probably do know these 5 things, but the drive system is only available in Undermined. You'll be able to customize for cool stats. It's not just a looks thing. You'll be able to customize your stats, how you drift, how you handle, what kind of speed you hit. Drifting is key. You get a boost after you drift, much like the Mario Kart mechanics, so that'll be a fun thing to get into. Driving for rewards, that's right. You'll be able to do some quests specifically through the drive system via the shipping and handling tasks. So these will be some fun things you can get out there and get done and enjoy questing just a little bit more with the little crazy taxi arrow above your head. Man, that stupid email I had to deal with, Jesus Administrator. Yeah, well, you know, that's our real life job, so we got to deal with that shit. What's up, Lemon? And then you don't need to drive to complete the task. That's right, there is a little item here called Caddy Collar for those of you who have motion sickness and shit like that. You won't have to deal with the drive system if you don't want to, but still be able to complete the quests. If you use this little item here, you'll be able to just use basically a regular amount, get around and do these things. Sorry, off topic, Sam, no worries. Do you think you'll ever be able to boost yourself to a win? I don't know, buying item level basically would be the way you do that? I'd hope not. I hope not, Kale Sauce, but never say never. Money is time, and time is money, and greedy goblins do exist at World of Warcraft and Blizzard headquarters, of course. You receive an email from your lovely government, always. Additional class tuning updates. So this is big here. We got the class tuning updates coming in. Last second updates, and some of these are kind of big. So here we go. Death Knight, Frost and Unholy, 5% buffs across the board for them in terms of damage. So that's a nice little buff for them. Demon Hunter, they fixed a little issue here with the Wounded Quarry. So that's great. Nothing too excited on that part. Druid's getting a ton of changes here. Feral, melee auto attacks increased by 25%. Adaptive Swarm 25%. And Liberation of Undermined set bonus increased by 40%. I've been talking about this a little while now, but there's a lot of buffs coming to Feral. I think Feral is going to be one of the best DPS classes going forward into Undermined, and we're finally going to see the little cat boys running around again, so isn't that great? Also, Windstalker, a boost of 20% here to their bursting growth damage. Guardian Druid, all damage increased by 5% across the board. Moonfire damage also increased by 20% on that one, and then Fury of a Loon increased by 80%, so Druid's getting some love here in terms of damage. Very nice for them. We have Evoker. Augmentation, getting shit on once again. Shifting Sands versatility effects reduced by 20%. Breath of Eons now accumulates 8% of damage taken, was 10%, so left survivability there. Close as closest clutch mates increases the effectiveness of the Ebon Might, and Breath of Eons by 10% outside of raid, was 25, so more nerfs for Augmentation Evoker. I don't know, Blizzard just hating on him lately. They don't want him to be a thing anymore, I guess. Do you think Two-Handed Frost will still be a meme? Probably. I don't see anything there that's going to fix that just yet, but we'll see. We'll see how it all works out. It looks like Frost is going to be better, though, overall. Devastation, all spells and abilities damage increased by 6%. Liberation of Undermined 2-set bonus no longer grants essence, so a little buff here, then a nerf to their 2-set. Evoker, man, I don't know. It gets all over the place lately. We'll see how it all balances out. Hunter. Beast Mastery damage reduced by 8%, but Marksmanship Hunter damage increased by 6%. Looks like they want to play a little bit of Marky Boy. They want you to play some Marksmanship Hunter, so getting a little buff there. Precise Shot also increased by 40%, was 30% for cost reduction there. Paladin, Holy Pally, increased by 4% across the board to their healing done. That's a nice little buff for Paladins. I always love to see healers get buffed as a tank because we're so damn dependent on them now after all those nerfs we've gone through. Priests, some big changes to Priests here. Hero talents, Void Wraith damage is now reduced by 25%, and Void Wraith cooldown increased to 3 minutes, was 2 minutes, so interesting little changes there. For Void Weaver here under Discipline Priest, Void Wrath grants a reduced effectiveness version of Shadow's Covenant while talented into Mindbender, and Void Wrath now returns 0.2% mana, was 0.5, so that's a little bit of a nerf there for that. So Priest changes, interestingly enough, are here and there, but Shadow getting big buffs. Shadow damage increased by 13% across the board. All of their 2-set bonuses now deal 100% damage, was 200%, so a little bit of a less 2-set bonus there. Their 4% bonus now increased to 10%, was 15, so also a nerf there. Some nerfs to their bonuses, but the 13% damage across the board, damn. Also, Void Weaver, Void Blast now increased by 25%, and Collapsing Void damage increased by 25%. So nice changes there for Void Weaver Shadow Priests. Doing pretty damn good with all those damage increases. And then finally here we're wrapping up with some Rogue, and then I believe Shaman Rupture damage increased by 6%. We also got Unseen Blade increased by 15%. Surprising Strike bonus now increased to 50%. 1,000 Cuts also increased slightly. Ass Rogue, we see that their Crimson Tempest damage increased by 6%. Artillery Precision hits more targets now. A Sudden Demise now increased. So a bunch of buffs here. Outlaw Rogue, Precise Cut, and Blade Fury damage increased by 5%. And then Nimble Blade Fury damage was 25%. Now 20% increase. So there you go. It is now 25. Was 20, I should say. And then finally, Sub Titty with the titties. All damage increased by 10%. My God, what a nice, with some buffs here to Rogue. Liberation of Undermine 2 set. Little bit of reduction there, reduced to 2% per sec was 3. Liberation of Undermine 4 set, also a little reduction there. Trickster, Nimble Flurry, or should I say Nimble Furry, however you want to read that, now causes 60% listed ability damage. 2 strikes nearby enemies was 50%. And then finally here we're wrapping up with Shaman, Warlock, and Big Dick Warrior buffs. Shaman, Restoration, All Healing increased by 4%. Warlock, a bunch of changes to their PvP shit, and Summon Dark Glare has been adjusted here. Looks like it's gotten buffed a little bit in terms of doing more damage. And then Warrior, Arms, all ability damage reduced by 5%, and Fury, all damage reduced by 5%. Did I say they're getting buffed? Yeah, they're getting nerfed. But that's, by the way, take this with a grain of salt. Warriors have been getting buffed cycle after cycle after cycle here for 11.1 so far on the PTR. So this is like the first real nerf that I've seen to Warriors. So maybe they got buffed too hard and they kind of pulled back at them a little bit. We'll see how all this is going to play out. I mean, this patch is going live tomorrow, so all these things are going into effect. Play around with your classes this week. It's going to be a week off before the season starts, so figure out how everything balances out. But should be looking good. Helena, happy early birthday. Man, every time I hear Sam say sub titty, it sounds like he's saying sub titties. Maybe you're hearing what you're supposed to be hearing. Buying Enchanted Crests. I don't talk a lot about professions. This is the final thing here today. But you will be able to buy Enchanted Crests from now on. We all know that the reset is happening. You'll be able to reset your talents at least one time for your specializations, starting with 11.1 here. Enchanted Crests, though, to simplify the crafting system, Enchanted Crests are no longer made by enchanters, but are instead purchasable from the enchanting supply vendors or Cyanite outside of the Crafters Enclave in Dornagal. So there you go. Something you're able to buy instead of having to get from other people. That's pretty nice. You don't have to interact with people. That's always a good thing. But that is all in terms of news.